Countdown to top 10 creepiest things found in people's homes. Unbelievable and disturbing objects people discovered in their houses. Home is often considered a sanctuary, a place where we feel safe and secure. But what if your home harbors dark secrets? Imagine going about your daily routine, only to stumble upon something eerie hidden within your walls, attic, or basement. From unsettling historical artifacts to inexplicably spooky discoveries, these finds have left homeowners baffled, disturbed, and in some cases, terrified. We scoured reports of bizarre home discoveries to bring you the top 10 creepiest things ever found in people's homes. These are the kind of tales that make you think twice about what might be lurking in your own home. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe. Just click the bell icon, so you get all the notifications for our new videos. 10. The Wall of Dolls. A couple in Pennsylvania decided to renovate their attic, hoping to expand their living space. As they tore down the plaster walls, they were greeted with a bizarre and unnerving sight. Dozens of antique dolls hidden inside the walls. The dolls, varying in size and condition, were eerily arranged in rows, staring blankly ahead. Some had missing eyes or limbs, while others had faded, cracked faces. What made this discovery even more disturbing was the fact that no previous owners had mentioned anything about dolls. The couple, puzzled and creeped out, tried to research the history of the house. They found no conclusive evidence, but theories swirled online about the dolls being used in some kind of ritual or superstition. While there was no definitive answer to the origin of the dolls, many speculated that it could have been the work of a previous owner with an eccentric collection or perhaps something more sinister. Either way, the idea of being watched by dozens of hidden dolls was enough to make the new owners reconsider their renovation plans. 9. The hidden room behind the mirror. In 2017, a tenant in New York City made a discovery straight out of a horror movie. After feeling a draft of cold air coming from her bathroom, she decided to investigate. To her shock, she found that her bathroom mirror was not attached to the wall but was concealing a secret passage. Behind the mirror was a hidden room that looked as though it hadn't been touched in decades. The room was filled with old construction materials and debris, but it was clear that someone had been living there at some point. The discovery of this hidden space sent chills down her spine. Was it used as a hiding place, a secret passage, or perhaps something more nefarious? While there was no immediate evidence of foul play, the tenant couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been living in her apartment without her knowledge. She quickly contacted her landlord, who confirmed that the building had a complicated history, including mysterious renovations over the years. 8. The mummified hand in the wall. Renovating a home can often lead to unexpected discoveries, but one family in England uncovered something that sent shivers down their spines. While working on their 17th century cottage, they found a small compartment hidden within one of the walls. Inside, wrapped in decayed cloth, was a human hand, mummified and shrunken over the centuries. Experts later identified the hand as a hand of glory, an object used in European folklore believed to possess magical powers. Thieves would supposedly use such hands during break-ins, lighting the fingers like candles to immobilize their victims or unlock doors. Though the family was initially horrified, they eventually handed the relic over to local authorities. Its presence in their home remained a mystery, though some historians speculated it was placed there as a charm to ward off intruders or bad luck. 7. The mysterious trunk in the attic. A Texas couple made a disturbing discovery after they inherited an old family home. During a routine cleanup, they stumbled upon a large, heavy trunk in the attic. Curious, they pried it open, only to find it stuffed with old, rotting clothes and personal belongings that seemed to date back to the early 1900s. At the bottom of the trunk, wrapped in a deteriorating blanket, was a bundle of bones. The couple, horrified by the possibility that the remains could belong to a human, immediately contacted the authorities. After a forensic investigation, it was confirmed that the bones were those of a child, likely dating back several decades. Though the discovery was heartbreaking and chilling, no records of missing children or crimes linked to the home were ever found. The couple was left to wonder about the dark secrets their family home may have hidden for generations. 6. The creepy Victorian portraits. It's not unusual to find old photos in a house that's been passed down through the generations, but one family's find was particularly unsettling. While cleaning out the basement of their Victorian-era home, they discovered a stack of large portraits. These weren't ordinary family photos, however, each portrait featured people in various states of illness or death, a macabre practice common during the Victorian era. Known as postmortem photography, This practice involved taking photos of deceased loved ones, often posing them as if they were still alive. The family was horrified by the lifelike quality of the photos and the strange, almost haunting expressions on the faces of the subjects. Though the practice was meant to memorialize the deceased, these images struck the modern-day family as creepy, especially since they had no idea who these people were. 5. The discovered tombstone under the floorboards. A Florida couple discovered a tombstone in the foundation of their home during a remodel. The stone, complete with an inscription, belonged to a woman who had died over 100 years prior. What made the situation even more eerie was that there were no records of a cemetery in the area, nor did the house seem to have any direct connection to the name on the tombstone. The couple's home had always had an unsettling atmosphere, and this discovery only deepened their unease. After further investigation, they learned that the tombstone had likely been repurposed as building material when the house was constructed, a practice that, while uncommon, had been documented before. Although there was no evidence of a body buried beneath their home, the mere presence of the tombstone was enough to send the couple searching for answers for the cursed Ouija board in the crawlspace. When a couple in Ohio bought their first home, they were excited to explore every nook and cranny. However, what they found in the crawlspace beneath the house gave them pause. An old, worn Ouija board, covered in dust and grime. The Ouija board had obviously been there for years, and upon further inspection, they noticed strange markings around it, almost as if someone had been using it to perform rituals. The couple was already uneasy about the board itself, but what made matters worse was the strange occurrences that followed: doors slamming on their own, whispers at night, and unexplained cold spots in the house. While the couple eventually threw the board away, they couldn't shake the feeling that something had been awakened in their home. Whether the board had anything to do with the strange events is up for debate, but its discovery certainly added to the home's creepy factor. 3. The human hair woven into the walls. A family in Scotland made a disturbing discovery while renovating their old cottage. As they peeled back the wallpaper and tore down the old plaster, they found something woven into the fabric of the walls: human hair. It was entwined into the construction material, almost as if it had been used as a binding agent. Experts were called in to investigate, and they concluded that the hair likely dated back centuries, possibly used during a time when construction materials were scarce, and people would use whatever was available. However, local folklore added a darker twist, with tales suggesting that using human hair in building materials could be part of a ritual to ward off evil spirits. The family, understandably unsettled, had the materials removed, but the hair's presence in the walls left them questioning the house's history. 2. The strange statues in the backyard. A homeowner in rural France was exploring their expansive backyard when they stumbled upon something strange: a series of stone statues buried in the ground. The statues were humanoid in form but had exaggerated, grotesque features, and were placed in a circular arrangement, almost like a ritual site. The homeowner, unsure of what to make of the statues, contacted local historians, who speculated that the statues might have been part of an ancient or occult ritual. However, no concrete evidence was found to support this theory. What made the discovery even creepier was the fact that no one knew how long the statues had been there, or who had placed them in the ground. 1. The woman living in the attic. In what is perhaps the creepiest and most unsettling discovery on our list, a man in South Carolina began to notice strange noises coming from his attic. At first, he dismissed them as the sounds of an old house settling. But when things started going missing from his kitchen and he heard footsteps above his bedroom, he decided to investigate. What he found was the stuff of nightmares. A woman had been secretly living in his attic for months. She had created a makeshift bed and had been sneaking down into the house when he wasn't home to steal food and supplies. The man, horrified, immediately called the police, and the woman was arrested. She had apparently been living there without his knowledge, taking advantage of the home's many nooks and crannies to remain hidden. The stories on this list prove that sometimes the creepiest discoveries aren't found in haunted houses or old cemeteries. They're hiding right under your roof. Whether it's unsettling relics from the past, hidden spaces you didn't know existed, or